like there's nothing. It's the first season now where you don't have a pre-season ahead of you going into different goals, I suppose. But like it's been a great process. I think I've really enjoyed this year. I mentioned recently how I've enjoyed playing with the A teams. Like I've built a great relationship with the young lads coming through in this team. So in that regard, it's easy because they have something to fight for, and they've pre-seasons and goals and ambitions that they want to get better at in the rest of the season and the years to come. So like you're still putting in the best to what you can every session to try get those lads better and to try help them progress as much as they can in their career. Like after training, I'll be helping lads. I'll volunteer for I'll be the tacklee. If they want to work on something, I'll gladly jump in and help them, because you just want to be able to give as much as possible for the last few weeks that are in it.
Are you at peace with your decision?
Yeah, 100%. It's not something you come to easily, but just the way the year shaped out, and the way I was feeling, I'm definitely made the decision, and I definitely backed myself. I'm happy with what a decision I've made.
Yeah, is there any kind of fear there about kind of leaving rugby behind? Such a big part of your life.
Yeah, I suppose there's some trepidation. I suppose like it's all I've done for the last 12 years. Like you have to commit to rugby. I know I've been working outside of it and I've been adding strings to my bow, but like if you want to be good at rugby, like if you want that to be your craft, you have to commit to it. I think Jamie Heaslip mentioned it in his retirement. Like you have to think about retirement, but focus enough on your career that you're good enough and you develop enough, and like that you're continuously getting better and you stay in rugby for as long as possible. So like I've deliberately taken next year. The rugby has afforded me that I will have time. I will have an adjustment process, like where I'll be able to get as much experience in the new industries that I want to go into, in the new sectors. I'm supposed still quite undecided in what road I'm going to commit down to, but I'm studying an MBA at the moment, and that's very much helping me to get a broad sense of the business aspects and how the elite performance, how being in an elite performance environment can be helped towards the business aspect as well. So I'm going to take the year, going to really figure out what I'm going to do, going to get work experience in different industries, and before I finally commit to exactly what I'm going to do for the rest of my working life.
And just finally, like anything in particular that that you'll take away in particular from your time, your most standout memory, Tommy?
Like it's hard. There's lots there. Each season has its own different memories. There's just different Munster moments that stand out from each season. Like to be able, even though I wasn't over in the pitch, to be in the stand this year for the Claremont game. There's Saracens games. There's like the win in Harlequins all the way back in 2012. There's been involved on the podium the last time we won a trophy, in 2011, 2012 season. So there's loads of different moments throughout the season. Like, I suppose from an individual point of view, there was like getting capped for Ireland, the successes with Ireland that I had, being involved in the Six Nations wins, being named Munster Player of the Year back in 2012, and just there's highs and lows, and there's just so many of them there that, like, rather than one standout moment, there's just a great collection of moments, I suppose, across the career that really, allow you to go into retirement knowing that you did a lot in your 12 years as a pro, and you gave it socks. Like,
Tommy Trevor here, Live 95. You said in your statement that Munster were willing to offer you another contract. So was it a case of maybe reduced opportunities in terms of game time behind the decision as well? Or did you decide you had your time playing rugby and that was it?
I suppose it was a bit of both. Like there's the reduced game time there. Like I feel as a player that game time is where, and being involved week on week is where you keep yourself sharp and keep yourself on top of the game. And I suppose with the possibility of reduced game time, and also the fact, like I knew how my body was feeling in the winter months and in the hard grinds with the double sessions, as I mentioned in my statement. So it was just I took all the factors into account, and I think I'd given it socks, and I wanted to call it on my own terms as well. I didn't want to go that extra year too long and to not to be performing to the best of my ability. It would have done myself an injustice, but it would also done the lads around me an injustice. Like, there's lads coming through in the squad who are just as keen to learn, and they're probably more physically able for the game of rugby at this stage. So, like, they'll be just as well able to give it as good as an account as themselves next year than I would have been at my stage in my career.
You said there the last time you were on the podium for the win in 2011, and Munster were like last four of Europe for so many seasons, and the last couple of seasons haven't been able to get to that level. Is there a reason why, when you're looking at it, why Munster aren't able to get up to the heights of previous seasons?
With Cup Rugby, a lot of it's down to luck. This season was definitely a strange season with the likes of COVID. We didn't get through the full group stages of the European Cup like we would have liked to, and then it was a slightly rearranged format regards the final 16 and that. So cup games definitely come down to certain moments. Like we haven't been far off either in the last few years. We've been in quarterfinals and semi-finals, and we've been down to last minute kicks and close decisions. So like the quality of rugby is definitely improving. And I think as Munster as a squad, I think we're getting better year on year as well. It's just the opposition are also doing that. They're out there. They have big budgets as well. They've world class players, and we're trying to do that. We're trying to add world class players all the time, and we're trying to also improve the quality of Irish players that we have as well, so that continuously add more and more Irish players to our squads and try and make them as good as possible, so that it'll benefit Irish rugby as well. You can win trophies, but if you're not actually developing the Munster players and you're not developing players that will go on to contribute to Ireland, then I suppose winning a trophy isn't exactly worth it at the end of the day. And finally, you mentioned COVID there, but COVID also maybe accelerated the development of some of the younger players in the squad. Is that something that's over the next couple of years really going to reap rewards for Munster? Yeah, it's tough. It's reap rewards for those guys. They've got opportunities this year, and they've got opportunities with the contracts next year. They'll have to prove themselves and continue to get better year on year, because the standard has been set now with what they've done in the academy. There's a higher standard from there now when they're on development contracts next year, and when they go forward and try break into first to be starters, to be going from being a fringe player to being a continuous starter, and then hopefully breaking through to the Irish squads and that. So there's plenty of hurdles there for them going forward, but there's a lot of prospects there, like a lot of quality players coming through. I suppose it's been a double-edged sword as well, because we've probably seen more players leave than we normally would have had because of COVID. So it's tough in that regard. But then if it gives that opportunity to younger players, and in a couple of years' time we see those benefits, then it's hard not to say it's been a good thing.